What's good, YouTube fam? Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be taking a close detailed look at the last Air Jordan 1 of 2022. Now here in hand, guys, we have the Air Jordan 1 medium gray or the Twist 2.0s. These are the part 2 of the Air Jordan 1 Twist that dropped in 2019. And ironically, those also released during the holiday. And if I'm being frank with you guys, it really doesn't make sense why Nike would change the #1 thing about this shoe that made it so appealing in 2019, which was the black and white color blocking. The Twist 2.0s dropped December 23rd on the sneakers app. And believe it or not, guys, these are still sitting on the Nike app, retailing around $180. And if I'm being quite frank, the timeline doesn't really add up. I don't see why Nike decided to drop these only 3 years after the original pair had dropped back in 2019. And if you weren't able to cop those when they released, be ready to pay a pretty penny for this sneaker. And to tell you the truth, the colorway was really nice, but I don't know if it's worth what it's going for right now. Now, the main difference between the original pair and these was that Nike changed the leather on the toe, the medial side, the lateral side, and the upper heel of the sneaker to this kind of like a smoky gray color. On the OG pairs, it was a really nice bright white. And since we're talking about the leather, in my opinion, it's pretty subpar. It resembles a lot of the cheap leather that we've seen on past Air Jordan 1s. And it's not really on par with a couple of the recent reviews that I've done on Air Jordan 1s. One thing that they did keep the same was kind of all the black panels. They have this kind of fur on it. And if you look further into the sneaker, you'll find a little tag on the insert that actually reads, "This shoe contains real fur. Fur type, dyed natural adult bovine fur. Fur origin, Italy." And then it has the Nike warehouse address on there as well. And personally, I really like that Nike does this. They kind of like put little Easter eggs on the shoes or like fun facts about the specific sneaker, and it kind of just adds a little bit of character to the shoe, in my opinion. So the fact that the fur itself is from bovine, which is actually a word I had to look up. I didn't know that it was like cattle. Could mean like a bull, a cow, or you know, a bison or anything like that. I had to actually look that word up because I had no idea what it was. You find that bovine fur on the mudguard, on the eye stays, the swoosh, the lower heel, and the upper wings. Personally, I think that the Air Jordan 1 on its own is a statement as it is. And sometimes when Nike does all these kind of different materials like the patent leather or the fur, it can sometimes be a bit much for the Air Jordan 1. So I don't think that it needs all these extra types of materials. I personally would just take the OG leather and call it a day. Sometimes this can be a bit much. Personally, the fur would probably be for like a specific event or something special. It's not a sneaker that I really would wear often, and it's probably a sneaker that I wouldn't personally go out of my way to buy over other colorways. But if I'm being honest, the good thing about this specific colorway, and even though that they use that bovine fur, from a distance when they're on foot, you can't really tell that it's fur unless you get up close and personal where you can notice the fur. Even the fur sometimes kind of overlays on some of the other panels, and that's really where you can see that it's fur. But from far on toe, you can't really even tell that it's a different material. And on the lateral side of the sneaker, Nike went ahead and slapped on there the Air Jordan 1 wing logo in kind of like a metallic silver. And even though it's kind of different from what we're used to seeing, I kind of really dig it. Now, one other thing that Nike did different on this pair was that they went ahead with a black nylon tongue, which on the original was a white tongue, which was matching the leather, which in my opinion, the black laces match really well. And speaking of laces, on top of this being a very plain unboxing, with no extra goodies, a regular Air Jordan 1 box, we didn't get an extra pair of laces, which is kind of bull if you ask me. And all jokes aside, when I get a pair of Air Jordan 1s, I really look forward to getting 1 or 2 extra pairs of laces. So the fact that they didn't even add an extra pair of laces was a bit of a bummer to me. And if I'm being honest, this sneaker had so much potential, with the original pair reselling for some ridiculous price now. I feel like Nike kind of dropped the ball on this one. But overall, the color blocking is very decent. It's very wearable. The gray and black color blocking is iconic. You can almost attach it to the shadows. I think they look incredible on foot from a distance. And I feel like the white midsole was the last detail that it kind of needed to make it pop. But unfortunately, Air Jordan 1s in much better colorways than this are sitting. And it seems like these have joined the club. You can go on the Nike app and pretty much get any size on there for retail. And speaking of sizes, I do have to mention that this was a women's release, so there are no extended sizing, and personally they did fit true to size, which is what I'm gonna recommend you guys. And guys, that's gonna pretty much wrap up this video on these Air Jordan 1s. And as always, I want to thank you guys for being here, for liking, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff. It's always a pleasure making content for you guys, and I do hope to see you in the next sneaker video. Peace out.